Welcome to Bealtaine Cottage, the home of goddess permaculture. These are some photographs of Bealtaine Cottage at the very beginning of what's become known as the Bealtaine Project. And this is about full restoration of Mother Earth and caretaking of the regeneration. Well, a wheelbarrow full of well water, which I shall be carting up to the house. Oh, thank goodness for the well. Beautiful flowers are out all over the laurel. And again, much beloved. There are people moan about the laurel. They call it invasive. It's actually a wonderful, wonderful shrub. And it flowers beautifully. I mean, look at these flowers. Like I say, the bees adore them. There's some bees up there at the top in the late evening sun. And then they give these fruits. Look at this. Isn't that wonderful? It looks a little bit sparse because I have been down here cutting back the shrubs and tidying up and, making space for this year's growth, because I'm hoping that sometime over the next few days there's going to be some rain, and then that's going to put all this into growth, which would be beautiful. And there's the cuckoo. The primroses have been very prolific this year, and that's because I don't do massive tidy-ups except when I have to. So the primroses get the chance to seed and then scatter their seed. Well, the wind scatters it mostly. But isn't that beautiful? Just on the side of the driveway. Masses and masses of the lime green euphorbia that spreads so willingly. And it's ideal as well for a woodland garden. You can see it spreading underneath this plum tree and down towards the little stream. The daisies are all going to sleep. Have you ever noticed how the daisies close up all their petals at night? Aren't they clever? Look, here's one already, gone to sleep. It's as though they're telling the bees, it's time you went to bed too. I foolishly pushed the wheelbarrow full of water all the way up the drive earlier on today, despite the fact I'm not feeling that well. But that's me. You can't keep a good woman down, as Alice Walker once said. But I've had a bit of a brainwave. I thought, I'll park the wheelbarrow here. I'll walk leisurely with Jack up to the cottage, get the car, drive down and load up the water. Sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Jack's got thirsty, look. Drinking out of the stream. So the beautiful Gurna manicata, which I moved from here when I was doing the engineering works in the pond, and then I replanted along these banks. It's all coming on, which is beautiful. So I'm going to clear a little bit of that pondweed further up over the next few days, but how I'm going to do it is from the top, rather than go into the pond and disturb the tadpoles at this time. So I'm just going to get my big sort of long 3-pronged rake and see if I can pull some of it off, because it's important now for the light to get into the pond. This bit down here, which I cleared last October, I think it was, seems to have stayed fairly clear anyway, but up there at the back it's got rather thick. So I'm just so pleased that the water stayed in the pond during this drought. And all the life in there has stayed as well. So I'm just going to walk in through the woods. Do you know, it's a lovely thing to be able to say that. I'm just going to walk in through the woods. There's the brambles that I cut last week. They've certainly all died back now. Making room for the primroses and a few more little trees, which I have my eye on planting in there. Oh, there's some leaves come out on the little horse chestnut. So now for the summer months, I've hung the bird feeders all the way through the woodland gardens. I'm just thinking that this is going to be a better place for the birds to come and forage. It brings them down in amongst the trees, and especially the younger birds, because there'll be quite a few mummies now and daddies teaching their young how to feed. So I think by putting the little bird feeders down here in the woods, it's be a much more natural setting, you know, for catching little flies and so on. You can just see some of the little flies there, I think, anyway. I can see them. Beautiful light around the field maple. There's another one of the bird feeders. Can you see it? Just at the entrance to the fairy wood. The first flower in the rhododendron. And the beautiful orange euphorbia. Jack's had a good drink. You thirsty boy. Beautiful ajucans. They just spread. Each year they spread a bit more. And again the bees love them. Here's some more. Spread to the edge of the veranda. just 6:30 in the morning. I'm woken up just by the sound of birds. It's like a, well, yes, it is a chorus, but it's more than that. It's a real just get up out of bed call. The bees are out already. Still no rain. This is Saturday morning. But the plants outside are doing very well. They're clustered so close together. It sort of allows them to keep the moisture in. Lots of apple blossom now, opening up. The sun is rising over Sleeve Erin. See the blue mountain. And the leaves are out on the rowan. Beautiful little orchids have appeared. They're gorgeous. And the beauty that is on this little mound, all over the little mound. Look, there's another orchid. The beauty of it is, some of you may know, that this mound was, in the past, a big coal ash heap. Can you imagine that? The entire mound was a coal ash heap. It was where the man who owned the cottage before me dumped all the coal ash from his fire in one big mound. And see how nature has reclaimed it, with primroses and ferns, hawthorn trees, holly, dandelions, herb Robert, and now wild orchids. See how she deals with our waste when we leave her alone to do it. She covers it with abundance. Now who's the intelligent one? Lots of people ask me what I do about weeds. There's two things. I plant them out, which means I put other plants in there to smother them, or I let them have their day. Their day is very short. This is the ground elder. A lot of ground elder here at Bealtaine Cottage, always was. Was introduced to Britain by the Romans. Somehow it got to Ireland, because the Romans never did. The Romans used to eat it. Quite a delicacy. It comes up. It's very green canopy on the wooden floor, and then it flowers. Well, it's worth leaving it just to see the flowers, and then it dies back. So at the moment it's just having its day, that's all. It's competing with lots and lots of other plants, because you can see here, there's the periwinkle and the geranium. And of course, very shortly, it'll all be in shade. It's a noisy morning. The sheep on the neighbouring fields are all causing a bit of a ruckus, and the dog further down the lane is barking. You may have seen the fox, of course, because the vixen is out now with her cubs, and she's trying to get food for them, and also teaching them how to get food for themselves. So she comes down along the fields and the banks, the ditches, places where she can keep her little brood safe. Sometimes you get to see her. Most times not. And she's very clever. The dragon's breath is in the valley this morning. It's just beginning to disperse. All Bealtaine Cottage books are printed here in Ireland, not offshored or uploaded to Amazon or any other corporation. They're printed in Ireland and they're posted from Ireland. And I do all the work here myself. This is best practice permaculture. This is not being a hypocrite and saying I practice permaculture and then have my books printed and delivered by Amazon. It's truly local, 100%.